Hi everybody, and welcome to another episode of D&L Bonsais. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to be making some concrete bonsai pots. I'm no stranger to making bonsai pots, but this is a completely different way to what I've made before. And I've got this idea from another fellow YouTuber, Tony from tonysbonsai. Anyone that knows that unfortunately we lost Tony about a year ago. He was a fantastic gent, and he's very sorely missed. So this idea stems from him, and I've just altered it a little bit. So any of you that have seen his video will recognise the method, but I've tweaked it a little bit. Okay, so let's get stuck in. Right, so what I've got, guys, I've got 6 scoops of normal concrete and 6 scoops of builder's sand. Okay, that's the mix that I use. I know Tony's was a little bit different, but again, this is based on his way, but I've adapted it. So, just add some water. Don't put too much in, because you can put in, but you can't take out. Now, obviously you can use gloves if you wish, but I don't mind getting my hands dirty. Mix it thoroughly. A bit more water. What you're looking for is like a thick, almost like plasticine, so that you can work it. At this point you might be tempted to put more water in, but don't, because you'll see in a minute there's more water in there than you think. Right, and that is pretty much what I'm looking for. So it's, you know, it's not firm, but it's also not too soft. You could put it into a bowl and it would stay there. Okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands, and then I'll go on to the next part of the video. Right, obviously I've washed my hands, but I'm gonna get them dirty again, but I'll just try and keep myself clean as I go. Again, you could wear gloves, probably be a lot easier. Right, so for this pot, I'm going to go for sort of like a rectangular shape. Now, I'm not going as high as that, guys, so don't worry, I'm not having a washing up bowl, but this is the method I've got from Tony, and it's really good. So, literally, just slop it all in, and you can always take stuff out. Let's try that for the minute. So you want to get it right into the edges. Like that. Probably, yeah, that's a perfect thickness there, about an inch. Right, now this is where I'll start building it up at the sides, and again, I know it looks messy now, but that can all be rectified later on. Right, so I'm going to carry on with this, guys, and I will skip forward for the next step. Which is fine. So once you've got your rough shape, now do not worry about what the tops look like, because they can be sorted out afterwards. But what I try and do is try and make sure that there's a pretty consistent thickness around the edges, because what you don't want is one really thick wall and one really small thin wall. And just do it to the height you want. And obviously we don't want it very high in bonsai, so I think personally that's probably about high enough to be fair. Right, now what you can do is use something like a spoon to smooth it out a bit. I mean, the outside's going to be pretty smooth anyway, because it's going to obviously have the smooth side of the bowl. If you find that you've got somewhere a bit too thick, just take it back. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. The good thing about bonsai is sometimes the imperfect looks more perfect, and I'm sure you know that. Bonsai is not about having everything perfect. Well, not to me, it isn't anyway. So I think that wall there's too thick and that wall's not thick enough, so easily remedied.
Hi mate, you up?
Just one of my neighbours being polite, didn't know I was filming. This one corner is giving me a bit of trouble, but that's fine. Then it's not a science, it's just having a bit of fun and trying to get the result you want. Right, I think that's better. I mean, obviously this corner is still thick, but then that corner's thick, so it sort of gives it a bit of symmetry. Again, you're never going to get it absolutely perfect, and it's not about getting it absolutely perfect. If it was, I'd go and buy a pot from a shop and pay extortionate amounts of money, you know? Right, so when you've got the rough shape you want, what I do is I'll just go over the edge to smooth it. I mean, obviously, as I said, you can always tidy this up once the pot's done using a Dremel or a sander. I'm going to take a little bit off of that wall there. That's the good thing about this, you can keep changing it and changing it, because it's normal cement, you're not on a time restraint. You don't have to quickly get it done before it sets. You've got plenty of time to change your mind, fix anything you don't like, and just readjust. Right, okay, now I'm going to make some drainage holes. Take a bit of cement out. Then what I do is I put like a lid there, excuse the train going past. So I tied it back up around that little lid, just roughly, same with that. In all fairness, the spoon will probably work better for this. And again, the holes can be tidied up with a Dremel at the end of the process, you know. Obviously, if you want to put some wire holes in, you can, but I'm not going to on this occasion. So we're nearly done, guys, for this stage. I'm just going to double check that there's no bits of wool that are extremely thick or none that I think are too thin, because obviously I don't want it too thin either. Now I know that corner is quite thick, but I like that, and it gives it character. But there is obviously a noticeable lack of concrete down this end, so again, just whack a bit more in, thicken it up, and even the playing field. There, that looks better. As I said, don't worry about getting it completely level, because you can go around that once the pot is nearly done with a Dremel or another grinder. smooth. Okay, I think that looks alright, guys, to be fair. Right, so what I will do now is I will leave that to dry at least overnight. Give it at least 12 hours before you even think about taking it out of the tub. But it will take probably about 24 to 48 hours to dry completely. So what I'll do is I'll cut the video now to show you one that I've already made and how they turn out. I hope you enjoyed that, and what I'll do is I'll update you on that pot tomorrow or maybe the day after, show you what it came out like. But I did this yesterday on some other shapes so that I had something to show you. So that was a little square one I did, and that's literally just a square Tupperware tub, and using the same process. Yes, it does have these little imperfections around the edge. I actually quite like those, but you could either fill them in with a little bit of cement and smooth them over, or you could leave them. You can paint them, you can leave them as they are. But yeah, so I mean, there's a big round one I did. Again, lovely pot, perfect for bonsai. Nice big drainage holes, and again, I can either paint that, fill in the gaps, whatever I want with it, stick things to it, who knows. Your imagination is what you want to make it. Sorry, there's another train going past. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or you want something explained, please put it in the comments. And a big thank you to Tony, because without his video I wouldn't have been inspired to make this one. So thank you, Tony, for everything, mate. And to all his friends and family, thank you as well. This is Lee, and I'm finishing this video here. I'll catch you on the next one. Please do like and subscribe, guys.